G'day, ZiggyD here. It's day 4 technically on the 1 week hardcore Beyond Rampage race where I'm doing my magic find testing project thing. I just woke up and thought I'd give you guys a little bit of an update on how things are going, basically what happened in day 2 and 3. In day 1, you guys know I died, I re-leveled back up a bit. In day 2 I got back up into Merciless, and yesterday was spent kind of leveling, progressing, and starting the transitionary period of my character into Merciless. Now, for those of you guys, a lot of you guys already know this, but I'm playing a dual Flame Totem magic find character that will eventually be low life blood magic as well. So that's a difficult thing to sort of go for in a 1 week race, and I'm definitely finding that the transitionary period is quite awkward. However, going into dual flame totem, I did that at level 51, was actually really strong. The skill's actually really like quite an impressive skill. I was impressed at how strong it actually is. And I was basically able to transition over then after doing Cruel Dominus and all throughout Merciless, basically dual flame totem worked really smoothly, and everything's been pretty smooth since then. Although the transition into trying to get into low life is a little bit awkward in a 1 week race because it's quite difficult to find gear with good resists and good ES, which is what I need. I need a few pieces with good resists and good ES. But overall, I've been doing pretty well. Currently sitting at level 72. I've had a couple nice wins so far. Last night I got into an Untainted Paradise with Rise, and that helped get me a nice quick 2 levels from 69 to, or from 70 to 72. So that was pretty sweet just there. I managed to cull myself with, this was actually one of the first uniques I culled once I started magic finding Piety, and this was only with like 150-ish rarity. I managed to cull myself a Joffrey's Crest. That's a really good find in a 1 week race. I'm actually using this right now because it gives +1 levels to Flame Totem and all my supports. But eventually I will go ahead and sell this and use it to fund buying some better gear. So really nice find. Joffrey's Crest is incredibly high demand at this point in the 1 week race because it's a great item for like archers or many different spellcasters as well, and just gives a huge amount of resistances and damage as well. So really nice stuff. I did manage to use some of the currency I found to buy myself some Aussies gloves. I managed to get some perfect ones. And if we go back to my spreadsheet here, now I'll link this in the description below because I think you guys might be interested in checking out some of this stuff. I've been recording all of my trades whenever I remember. I've missed a couple of sales here and there, but I've been recording all my trades and including putting in some like item details and stuff as I do them. I bought the Aussies for 10 chaos, perfect Aussies for 10 chaos, which was actually, I think, a pretty decent deal. I feel like they're I've done previous 1 week races where they've been closer to 15 to 18 chaos, so 10 chaos was a pretty good buy on that, but that seems to be kind of the market price at this point for something like this. I saw ones like 49s going for like 8 chaos and stuff like that, so it seems pretty reasonable. So I managed to get those, pretty nice stuff. Got Solaris Lorica for 3 fusing, so I am starting to use this now even though I'm not low life just yet because I'm starting to kind of transition off of life and focusing more on energy shield. Currently have 4,100 total life pool about, which is not bad for this level. Basically, I've been doing Lunaris runs, 4,000 life-ish in Lunaris is pretty reasonable. So good starting point there, and hopefully as I transition off of life, my energy shield starts to grow exponentially. I should hit that 4k to 5k ES pretty easily, hopefully, with just a couple little upgrades here and there and a couple more levels. So I'm hoping to go into low life at, you know, hopefully around 75, so that should be happening today, and hopefully I can give you guys an update on that later. Again, I'll give like a final sort of build analysis on after the 1 week race, so I can sort of look back and tell you guys how it's gone. But again, leveling with Flame Blast and Searing Bond and Fire Trap and Lightning Tendrils, and then eventually dual Flame Totems was really smooth leveling process overall. And it's just this transitionary period into low life that's a bit awkward. So one thing I've learned from this experience so far is that if you're going to start a new Magic Find character in a new league, so a short-term Magic Finding project, you should probably go a life-based blood magic character. So life-based blood magic dual flame totem magic find is pretty popular. It's a staple, really, and that's what I recommend just because it's a lot easier to gear. Because I've seen some really nice rarity resistance items that were armor piece or armor evasion piece or evasion piece. So basically, by deciding to go low life, I'm restricting myself to only energy shield pieces because I need that energy shield so badly, or in some cases, energy shield armor, energy shield evasion, but for the most part, energy shield pieces. So restricting you down early on in a league is going to make things quite a bit difficult. Now, I'm sure some of you guys will say, duh, I could have told you that, but it's nice to actually try this and then experience it, just how difficult it actually is. So That's kind of what I would do. And then I think I would probably do something like this, like a low life magic find character, which is more powerful damage wise once it transitions to low life and can obtain more rarity. I would do that as a longer term project in a more established league, or I would start off as life and then transition into something like this. And the good thing about this character is that I can magic find just quite fine like this. I'm only just getting started now. I have 145 rarity plus the 53 from item rarity now. Once I go low life, I'll get an extra 100, and I'll start stacking some extra rarity gear. I'm going to try and get a good necklace soon. It's going to have some nice rarity on it as well, so it's going to add a lot. And I should hopefully be able to get a rarity helmet as well. So should be able to pump my rarity up quite a bit from now. But just starting with, so basically my experience so far of culling with about 200 rarity is that it makes a significant difference, guys. I sort of discovered this before when I played a pseudo magic find character, but I'm surprised how much difference it actually makes magic finding. Like, it's not something you kind of realize until you actually start stacking. Once you get that 200 rarity, like, wow, okay, so every other piety run, or most piety runs will drop a unique, and then you're noticing significantly more rares from rare monsters, from beyond monsters, from bosses. It really does make a pretty significant difference. So I'll show you just briefly how the character's going here. So basically, I pop down the 2 totems and curse, and it's pretty effective. Like, the damage is pretty solid. In a group, you can cull, essentially, and still provide some damage. So you can put either culling strike support gem in, or what I've been doing is weapon swapping to Reaper's Pursuit just here, which provides additional rarity and culling strike automatically. I actually really like this, because what I do is I just tap my weapon switch, and anything that's in culling will get culled. So you see that guy just gets culled just there. So what I can actually do is, like, bring a boss. Let's show it with this guy. This guy's fire resistant, so it'll take a little bit. He still takes pretty good damage though. Also, void bearers tend to kill totems pretty quickly. So I chuck these guys down. I switch to cull, and then I switch off cull. So I lose some ES while I'm doing that. And I think my resistances aren't perfect without the shield either. Yeah, I go down lightning resist a bit. So you got to be cautious, like it's a little bit of a risk. So what you can do is you can basically just go, and it'll cull enemies. And when it does that, it also applies the rarity from the item as well. So I really like this kind of tricky way of culling, essentially. Eventually, once you have like a perfected character, you might have like a separate culling flame totem, for example. You'll have a flame totem linked with culling strike and item rarity, and that will be easier to cull with. But you can still use like a rarity item like that, because it could provide additional rarity unless you're using like a rarity shield or something on your main hand. There's a few different options you have. There's a lot of different ways of culling and getting that magic find to apply. And sort of early on, when you're just starting magic finding, you need to kind of squeeze out as much as you can so that you can start getting those drops to sell or to equip and start to upgrade your character to get more and more magic find, and it starts to snowball out from that point. And in that sort of point where you're trying to grow your character and grow your initial wealth, you want to try and min-max it as much as possible. So when you kill piety, what I do is I switch item rarity for faster casting when she's getting low, so when she's about 20% life. So I get to item rarity there, and then when she's in culling strike, I switch to that and cull her, and then I get the total like 200 rarity that I otherwise would not have if I didn't worry about that. So if I basically just use faster casting here, I would only have 100 rarity. So I'm basically gaining extra 90 rarity just by sort of switching that out, switching weapon briefly and then culling. So I really quite like that setup. It's quite fun, and you feel quite clever when you do it. when you have your flame totems down and they're already going, and then you just switch weapons and they automatically gain culling strike as soon as you switch. It feels clever. I also really like that this is the case now. I think this sort of thing, I don't know if this particular instance has changed, but with some of the snapshotting changes in the past, you can do things like switch out the rarity gem or the faster casting gem, and basically my totems that are down now gain the faster casting, whereas before I think they might have snapshotted, so not sure if that changed with this particular instance, but everything works really, really well now, and basically like you'd expect it to, so I can basically just switch to culling whenever I want to cull things, and I do that all the time when I'm running through Lunaris. There's a rare that's getting down to low life, I'll just switch and cull. It like kills them a little bit faster, doesn't really put me at too much extra risk, because I'm a bit out of the way anyway, I only do it when I'm safe, and it does provide a little bit of extra rarity there, so it's pretty rad. Now guys, it looks like I have a couple trades, so I think I might go conclude those. But if you're interested in checking out how I've been going so far, I have, again, been keeping track of, my wealth growing, the items I've purchased. If you mouse over them, you can see details of the items I've purchased. and selling, and I'm trying to remember to get details of the items I'm selling too, but listing down the different prices I sell things for. So you guys might find this interesting in terms of early on in the league, how much you can actually sell things for. Like for example, selling Conk Effect for 3 Chaos, 1 Regal, selling a 14% Ice Nova for 1 Divine, 2 Vals. Yeah, this sort of thing happens early in a league, and it's a lot of fun. This is why I love new leagues. It's so much fun trading and kind of like building up your wealth like this and taking advantage of the new economy is quite satisfying. Anyway guys, that's it for now. Hopefully you enjoyed the update. I'm ZiggyD, and thanks for watching.